Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Rancher and Stilettos Presents Cocktails and Conversations. This week, I'm coming to you from Normandy, France, one of my favorite places on the earth. I'm actually in a town called Honfleur, and I'm speaking with a dear, dear friend of mine who is the beautiful Kassaundra Stephens.
Oh, well,
Hello,
thank
my
you.
dear. How are you?
Very, very good.
Good. Let's
Yes.
toast because, cocktails and conversations, girl. Toast to
Yeah.
you. You know I love you. Aw. Mm. So,
Mm,
you know what? I'm so excited to have you on. I know that you're totally a fan and a rancher, a fan of the Rancher and Stilettos. Actually, we met because you did my makeup. Your background is dance, but you're also a fabulous makeup artist and
yes.
very, very much world renowned. And I think that the job you did for my makeup for the back cover of my latest book, The Ranch and Stilettos Part 3, turned out lovely. But we also bonded over the fact that you're an expat and I'm a wannabe expat to
Mhm.
France.
Yes. No, we had a great connection, especially for I think we started very, very like 5 a.m. I want to say.
Yeah, yep, early.
There, and you opened the door full of vitality and energy and just made me, I woke up, and you showed me your outfits and your jewelry, and we connected because I love jewelry. I used to make jewelry, Arizona, so we had lots of connections.
Well, it was lovely for me to meet someone who is from the States and has actually been living in France for how many years now? 4 years?
It's 6 years now,
6 years
actually.
now. Okay, okay.
4 years, but it's been 6 years. It
And
goes by.
my journey is right behind you. I'm kind of like following right behind you. So talk to me about what that's been like, what the transition was like for you. I'm kind of doing it step by step, and I come over for a few weeks and then go back home. But you got married. So you
Mhm.
actually moved. You married someone from France, so you actually moved over. So talk to me about what that experience is like.
Sure. I mean, honestly, it's been overall really great, but in between, there's been some highs and lows.
Mhm.
Um, it's so exciting to change your life. I think I could do it a few more times. I
Yep.
know there are some people, but ever since I was young, I was very independent and wanted to go see the world. And I had visited Paris with a girlfriend before I met my husband, and we were walking around Montmartre, and I was thinking, man, I would really, really love to live here. What a dream. And then 2 years later, I was back in Paris with two friends, and I met my husband. Um, my life went from black and white to color. He's brought so many. He's the most incredible gift that God has given me.
I
That's for
love
sure.
that. I love that.
Right? So that is the meaty part of it that made it good, and why it stays good is because anything that can happen, it's not easy to find an apartment when we started to look. The weather is much different from San Diego where I was before. It's, more rainy and cloudy, and you don't see the sun for several months.
Mhm.
But I feel like if your basic fundamental needs are really met, and you're feeling solid, you can weather all of those little storms, and it challenges your brain grows too because you have to learn a new language.
Okay, that part. That
Yeah, I
I
heard that
am.
makes you full, so we're in good luck.
Well, I have met folks since I've been traveling over who I get to practice with. Um,
Mhm.
I'm actually signing up for a class that I think will give me some structure. But the more I try and put myself out there and push the language, so much of it is just my own insecurity, that I'll mess up and, I'll, upset somebody or I'll be, embarrassed or whatever. But the
Right.
more, you practice and I think also the more you mess up, you get better at it. And and that fear goes away. You know, you don't have to be perfect. People actually, I find, appreciate it just when I try, even if all I'm saying is I'm American, I don't speak French.
Right, exactly. Yes, it is. I think that, everybody that in the world of expats, a lot of people are coming here for love or for a job or, and those people have the pressure of like learning the language right away.
Right.
And I thought that it was going to be like that for me. I thought like, how am I going to work when I'm there because I don't speak French yet? And as soon as I got here, I enrolled in classes, but all of my clientele is just also people from all over the world, actually, who
Right.
need to speak in English. So sometimes I have to really like push myself to keep with it every day.
Mhm.
Now, luckily, I'm starting to teach dance in French. So I have French students, whereas before I had all English speaking students. And that's when I really get tested because it's so important for me to explain technique to
Right.
them. And I don't
Right.
the terminology yet for dance for everything. But I tell myself that it's good to feel uncomfortable and still get through it. I didn't switch to English yesterday. Sometimes the students are like, yeah, but we understand English. So I switched to English. And that's not really fair to them because this
Right.
is their country. And I'm trying to be more prideful about that and just honor them and teach to them in their language as well.
Well, you know, when I met you, we had dinner with your mom, who's absolutely beautiful, by the way. I adore her. And I was able to gift you the books, The Rancher and Stiletto.
Yes.
And I know that, you know, you support me, you appreciate it. What I'm finding to be so interesting, and one of the things we're trying to do now is have the books translated into French and Spanish as well. Um,
Okay.
but I just love the reception that I'm getting over here. I'm actually a little surprised when it's in English. You know,
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
When what is in English? When
My books are written in English, but the
right.
reception that I've gotten in France has been really fantastic. And I'm just curious, what's your take on that?
Sorry, Marsha, I don't know why, but I didn't understand the question. Why general books aren't in English, or
So no,
just so
I'm okay. So my books are written in English, but I
right.
find that French speaking people who also speak English, obviously,
Hmm.
really love the story. And I know one of the reasons is because of the Paris, France influence that, you know, the stores were in, they had stores in the storyline. They actually have stores in Paris. So I know that resonates with some of the readers as well. What's your
Right.
take on that?
Yeah, I think that with that, it's the base of the story, and if you can get the heart of it,
Right?
that is that's going to capture people. And I find people want to challenge themselves if they're French and they want to read a book in English. It's the excitement of understanding it and being able to relate to it
Yeah.
without necessarily having to understand everything, you
You know
know?
what? I think you're right because I actually met a young lady this week. She and I have been practicing, you know, she wants to get better at English. I want to get better at French. But she bought the books and she said, I'm taking these home. I'm going to read them. It's going to give me a chance to practice. But what she texted me to say was, she loved the story of the friendships. The friendships really, you know, made her feel empowered. She said she doesn't have friends that she's known, you know, so long because obviously she's a young girl. But it started her on a path to thinking, who are the friends that I met in high school, say, that I'll know in 30 years? It's something that I think most women feel empowered by, and they definitely resonate with the importance of having those relationships.
Right. Absolutely. And I think especially the French, one thing that I love about their culture is that, for instance, my husband, his sister, his friends, they all stay friends with their core friends
Mhm.
from the most young you can imagine. Like
Right.
years old or 5 years old, and they really keep that bond and they're committed to those friendships. And so I'm sure that like people can find that lovely in a book because it's a big part of the happiness pie. You know, there's some important parts and friendship, long-term friendship, when you know each other, that is something that I think everybody longs for.
Well, look at us. We met, you came to work, and just to do my makeup. First of all,
Mhm.
that the photo shoot, the makeup, it all turned out so amazing. I could not have been happier. But I could tell, and I remember one of the things you said to me was, how we just kind of clicked. We had so many things in common. But what you said to me was how you were glad that I reached out and talked to you and called you to say, hey, let's go to dinner. Let's, have some fun. Let's go do something.
Right.
Because you were saying a lot of times, and it's true, people don't follow up. They'll say they're going to do it and then they don't follow up. What
Most
a,
people, yeah,
what a
most,
loss that would have been for us, because every time we hook up and we're talking, we find out we have so many things in common, and especially with the arts, just absolutely love the arts and relate to each other on that level.
no, that's true. It is. And I'm truly happy that you reached out because me, I can be a little introverted. So I have a very highly social side and an introverted side.
Right.
And sometimes I need that little push because I really want to. And I admire that. I like having friends that have qualities that I admire because I feel like you get to share and somewhat you get to inspire it, of course, but you
Right.
also, hey, I can do that too. So it's you never know who you're going to meet or what's going to happen in your day. It's just always being available and being free to say, hey, let's get together again. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I just absolutely adore you, Cassandra. I want to thank you so much for chatting with me today. And of course, as always, we have to toast out. I want to thank
Yes.
you. I can't wait to see you when I get back to the city,
Oh,
Patty.
we,
And
yes.
we're going to have so much fun. I love you,
Oh,
kiddo.
you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.